You know, there's a number you might not believe is so big. Children who are born prematurely. This is a population 5 times greater than the births of autistic children, which is a lot. And it impacts their growth in a lot of ways, and one is language delay. So I have someone with me today who has a system, something we're going to talk about to help these children. We're going to get some great information. Laura Kasbar.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
You're a CEO of Gemini Systems.
Yes. So I developed a method of video modeling that's used by Gemini to treat my twins when they were 3 years old. They were diagnosed with autism. They were nonverbal. It's since gone on to treat everybody from 5-month-olds with Down syndrome up to 65-year-old stroke victims. And it's having remarkable effect with a particular population, and these are children with the straight language delay diagnosis. And as you just said, there are about 400,000 children every year who are born prematurely. And roughly half of those children will have a speech delay. And it affects not only speech, but all academics, social, and even emotional growth.
Really? Do they ever catch up with those things? Because, I mean, Sharon, they're so tiny, and obviously there's things they weren't able to completely develop in the womb, and so then they have to catch up. Do they? Do they ever catch up?
Oftentimes they do not catch up without therapy. And research points to one phenomenon in particular as a culprit to this. Between 6 to 12 months, typically developing children start to develop be able to distinguish sounds or phonemes in their own language compared to other sounds in other languages that are just around them. Children who are born prematurely lack this phonemic awareness very often, and it creates sort of a snowball effect. Well, it affects not only language, but reading, memory, following directions, even social skills. And it can be sort of thwarted, I guess, or you can remediate this with the Gemini program, and we're seeing tremendous results.
How early do they need to start doing this program, let's say, to help with these?
Well, we're seeing that people should start at least before kindergarten, but 18 months, any time for 2 years before kindergarten. And there is a vast amount of research in video modeling with autism, but almost all of the research for speech delay in preemies just proving that preemies have speech delay. It doesn't really do anything about telling parents what to do. And they know that they need early intervention, but most insurance does not even come close to covering the amount of therapy that these children need to move the needle.
And like, where do you start?
And it's so expensive if you have to pay out of pocket.
Okay, so Gemini, now, did you develop this?
I developed it for my twins, and that's what
Were they also premature?
No, they were not. They were actually late.
Oh my!
But they were autistic, so that's.
So that's where you started with that, and then you found out, as you said, it applies to from 8 to 80, all kinds of different things.
Right.
But then you found that the preemies were really. And so what does it do? How is this different? Or
well, we've got some researchers up in Portland and Seattle who just completed a study using Gemini on several groups of people. One of them being these premature children with speech delay, and they did exceptionally well in this study. It's in peer review. It's going to be published this year, and we're getting emails and letters from parents all over the world saying that their kids are talking finally, they're understanding finally. So this is a huge deal for these kids, and it's so important to do because it's, I guess but there's that old adage, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Right.
Literally, all you'd have to do with Gemini is every time you put your child in a car seat and buckle him in, or her, you just turn it on. And they just watch it while they're driving around the car.
So this is a visual kind of a thing.
Video thing that you can use on a tablet. You can even go offline with it.
Is it pictures,
what
words,
we do
voice?
Is we show slowed articulation with close-ups of the mouth, and that is able to, we believe, it looks like it's being able to retrain the brain to not only hear sounds correctly, but see them correctly. And we're seeing that children, even their gross motor and fine motor skills improve just by watching these videos. It's
amazing.
So much so that there's so much interest in Gemini. We have researchers from Boston University and USC who want to do brain mapping on these kids to find out what the heck is going on, because the gains are just out of this world.
That is fascinating. I'm just started a book last night about Einstein's brain. You
Oh,
know,
right.
Because they took it for research after he died. Sounds like kind of gross. But it was fascinating. Like, is there something different about a brain and how it operates when you have someone who's a genius? But I mean, there's so many things with our imaging where we can see that things are working in different parts of the brain, so they can tell if this is affecting their speech centers.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Fascinating. Yeah, there was something, some other person, oh, I know, with the deaf children, does it help deaf children?
You know, one of the researchers who worked at the House Institute, which were one of the biggest centers in the world for cochlear implants, they wrote us a beautiful letter of support.
Where do they find Gemini systems?
At Gemini.org, and we have a beautiful YouTube channel that has testimonies from parents using the program from all over the world. It makes you cry. Make sure you have a box of Kleenex to watch it.
A blessing. That is phenomenal. Laura Kasbar, CEO of Gemini Systems, a language delay program you made up yourself that works. Congratulations, and thank you
very
for telling
much.
us about
it's
that.
It's really exciting that with just something so simple, you could literally change the course of someone's academic life.
Whoa, amazing. All right, Gemini Systems, thanks again.